I understand that this topic is not going to be, top of mind, but at heart, I am a baseball fan. At mind, I am a baseball fan. So, regardless of whether it is the World Series or the first weekend of spring training, I'm going to be kind of interested. So, I'm not necessarily interested in the results on the field, like, win loss, but I am interested in individual player performance. And one player in particular that I have had a laser focus on with the Tigers. Well, why don't I just go ahead and read you his stats instead of, telling you who I'm talking about? All right. This player has played in just 3 games in the spring. So not much, but, at 3 games. He's had 6 at-bats. He's got no runs. He's got 1 hit. He's got 2 total bases. He's got a double. No triples. No home runs. No RBIs. He's got 1 walk. Got 1 strikeout. He's batting 167, 286 on base, 333 slugging to a 619 OPS. And his name is Javy Baez. Now, why am I bringing up Javy Baez, you might be asking? Well, because he is everything that is wrong with the Detroit Tigers. Here is the problem. And you just brought it up, MSU Detroit fan in the chat. Parker Meadows and Matt Vierling are missing time due to injuries. Okay? Those are 2 guys that are positive additions to your offense. So, let me try to understand something, okay? So, you had last year, just from an overall perspective, from beginning of the year to the end of the year, you had one of the worst offenses in baseball in the Tigers. You can look it up. Any of the counting stats that matter, whether it's team batting average, team, runs per game, any of that. The Tigers are not very good. Obviously, they turned it on later and, things got better and they made the playoffs. It was fun. I loved it. It was great. Okay. You had that bad offense. Now you got 2 injuries to 2 guys that were very capable hitters in your lineup. Parker Meadows, one of the best hitters in your lineup down that stretch. 300 plus batter down the stretch. Obviously, he's on the year numbers were terrible, or at the very least, not great. But he really turned it on after that trip to AAA. And yet, now you're down those 2 guys. And for some reason, Javy Baez still has a spot on. You didn't really go out and invest and go out and buy a hitter, buy a bat. Alex Bregman's on the Boston Red Sox. Anthony Santander, he's out on the Blue Jays, I believe. And what's his name? Guy out of Minnesota. Guy out of Arizona. What is his name? Hold on. Arizona D-backs first baseman. What is his name? Oh my gosh, I can't find the guy's name. I can't find his name. Hold on. Let me go back a year. 2023. Here we go. Walker. Christian Walker. He's not on your team anymore. Or he's not on the team, I should say. Not anymore. He's never on. So you don't go out and don't get those guys. Josh Naylor. There's another one. Was he another one? I don't actually remember that. Was Josh Naylor ever available? Anyway. You go out and you get Gleyber Torres on a 1-year deal. He's a fine player. I'm not mad at it. That is your lone bat addition this offseason. It'd be one thing if you got rid of Javy Baez and you said, you know what? We're cutting all ties with him. He's one of the worst players in baseball. He adds nothing. Okay? He adds absolutely nothing. Okay? That would be one thing. It's another, though, to not only keep the guy around, but to waste spring training reps. I'm sorry. Everybody knows Javy Baez sucks. He's awful. He's been a terrible player ever since he put on the old English tee. Like every year since he's been with the Tigers, he's had awful springs. 2022, his first spring with Detroit, 206 average. 2023, 167 average. 2024, 143 average. And now 167 average again. Every year he's been terrible. Every year. And we just had a guy that we traded for in Trey Sweeney come up and be productive. Not amazing. Not Derek Jeter. Not the greatest shortstop ever. Just decent. Like, just slightly above average to average. And he immediately made the team more fun and better offensively. That's what's crazy. So why in the world are we keeping Javy Baez? How many, and this is the question, how many at-bats is it going to take? Because right now, we're at 6 ABs. Is it going to be 12? That's the magical number? Javy, he sucks. I get. Is it going to be 20? Or 40? Or 100? Or 200? How many is it going to take? I don't understand. The only reason he's on this team, you know what? Hold on. I'll tell you the only reason he's on the team. Because I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is. The reason he's on the team? Well, there's about 25 million of them. He's currently paid $25 million. And next year, he's going to be getting paid $24 million. And the year after that, he's going to get paid another $24 million. And so instead of, say, buying his ass out and saying, F it to, $100 million, roughly, we're just going to let it ride. We're just going to say we'll eat the black hole in our offense. Javy Baez has been nothing but an abject disaster for this team. Okay? Like, from just a WAR perspective, all right? Last year, he was a negative 1.1 WAR player. In his 3 seasons with the team, he has boasted a 2.4, a 0.6, and a 1.1, or a negative 1.1 WAR. He has practically lost you games. Literally. He had, last year, you would have been better off having nobody. You would, literally put nobody on the field. He's been a 1.8 WAR player since he came to Detroit, and it's not going to get better. Okay? I mean, he's been a 71 OPS player. Oh my gosh, this is an incredible stat. He's got 341 strikeouts to just 62 walks. That's 4 or 5 times as many strikeouts as he has walks. Okay? I don't know what it is going to take to get this guy out of here. Other than the only reason that he's here is because he's owed $25 million this year. That's the only reason. Okay? Chris Ilitch, I'm glad that you went out and you showed that you were willing to spend on Alex Bregman. Okay? But if you're willing to spend that money on Alex Bregman, a player, why aren't you willing to, say, cut ties with this player? How many zeros do you have to write on this check to get Javy Baez to throw away his Tiger uniform and never come back? Go back to Puerto Rico, or I think he's Puerto Rican. He's Puerto Rican. Go back to Puerto Rico. Don't ever tell anybody you ever play for the Tigers. Nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody wants to watch it. I'm not even saying that Trey Sweeney is the truth. But he's a heck of a lot better than Javy Baez. There's just no benefit to having this guy on your team. None. And yet, I have to see him. during spring when you could be giving reps to guys that might have something of a future. I understand you don't want to be disrespectful. You don't want to, treat these players like terrible human beings. I'm sure Javy Baez is a very nice man. I'm sure. I don't know. Never met the guy. But there comes a point when your job is to play baseball, okay? And you're not good at that. You've made millions of dollars at the Tigers' expense. To this point, you've made, last year you made $25 million. The year before that, 22. The year before that, 20. Okay, you've made millions of dollars just with the Tigers. Forget all the money you made with the Mets and with the Cubs. Forget all that. You made more than enough money. Just stop. Just stop. It's never going to come back. Whatever it is that you had in Chicago and in that brief stint in New York, it's gone. All right? And it's not coming back. So I'm just telling you right now, especially with the losses of Meadows and Vierling, if Javy Baez is on this team on opening day, man, you can kiss the playoffs goodbye. I'm sorry. Like, your rotation could be great. It could be really good, and I do think it could be really good. But your offense is going to be awful. You're going to have to try to compete again with the Royals or with the Guardians, who have both teams who have much better offensive weapons than you. And then you're just going to have to, every other day, just have 8 guys in your lineup. It doesn't help the guys who are trying to develop to get better. Doesn't help Riley Green get better. Doesn't help Trey Sweeney get better to have a guy like Javy Baez on the team. It just doesn't. So they haven't even put him out at shortstop. They're just putting him out as DH. So it's not like you can't even say you can get some value out of his defense. You get nothing. You get nothing but embarrassing baseball. So I really hope that by the end of spring, Javy Baez isn't on the team. They just cut him. They say, you know what, we're done. You're not good enough. But the longer it goes on, the more at bats he gets. Or I think it's they're telling you what they want to do without telling you what they want to do.
Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed what you just saw, hit the like and subscribe button. We do live shows every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.